master.
The library.
We're all picking mini vacations.
There's no time for vacations.
I practice hard every day with Toph and Katara. I've been training my arrow off.
That's the second episode in a row with a curse word fake out. I get where Sokka's coming from, but the older I get, the more I realize that rest is super essential for things. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had the experience where you work really hard at something and you just hit a wall and then you kind of just have a breakdown and give up. But then after a rest, you're somehow better at it than you ever had been before. I'm a naturally lazy person, and so over time, I've kind of forced myself to be ultra hardworking and disciplined, to the point where now I have to make myself take rests, even though it makes me feel guilty. And the reason I do that is because actually continuing when you're in that state of exhaustion is counterproductive. Your body and mind just need that break.
We'll finish our vacations and then we'll look for Sokka's intelligence.
Oh, burn. It's so messed up how Aang and Katara have ended up teaming up in their teasing of Sokka. It's not very nice. It's Mos Eisley. And those are sand people? This is Tatooine.
I haven't managed to find the crown jewel, Wang Xi Tong's library. It was built with the help of his foxy knowledge seekers. Are you the last of your breed? Oh, delightful. Shush, chatty monkey.
At least it's nice to see somebody appreciating Appa, because he's the man. He's the true anchor of the team. Oh, damn, that got me. I forgot she's blind. Oops. She's got a good sense of humor.
This is the library. It's completely
It's under
buried.
the ground. Mm-hmm.
I say you guys go ahead without me. You've got something against libraries? I've held books before. I gotta tell you, they don't exactly do it for me. Oh, right.
Oops. I mean, I can't judge her because I forgot she was blind too. I was hoping she would earthbend the building out of the sand.
Don't worry, buddy. I'm not making you go underground ever again.
Nice nod to that episode. What was it called? Desert Nomads?
I know you're back there.
Cool.
I am Wang Xi Tong, and you are obviously humans, which, by the way, are no longer permitted in my study. Humans only bother learning things to get the edge on other humans, like that firebender who came to this place a few years ago.
Oh yeah, remember Zhao? I thought he would come back, but he hasn't shown up, so I guess that's it of Zhao.
So, who are you trying to destroy?
It's funny because they actually are there to get knowledge on the Fire Nation to help them win a war against them. It's also funny this comes up right after I made that joke about going on a rant about animals. It does seem that humans are some of the most scheming animals, and there's probably good reason for that. One of the biggest sources of our intelligence is the fact that our brain seems to have evolved rapidly, not as a result of environmental pressure, but as social pressure. We tend to think of evolution and natural selection being the animal that survives its environment the best is the one that lives, and so those traits get passed down. It seems like at a certain point, humans no longer had to fear nature as much as they had to fear one another. And so a lot of our pressure, a lot of the evolutionary pressure comes down to our brain and our social skills and ability to read and predict the behavior of others. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it in terms of what would have been the most successful in evolutionary terms. No matter how amazing you are as a person, no matter how strong you are, you're going to be limited by yourself. The way to get true power is by being able to form groups around you, and it takes a high degree of social intelligence to be able to do that. And so we've kind of selected for social intelligence, for being able to understand others, and also being able to see threats in others and avoiding them. And so the result is kind of this crazy world where everyone who's alive is the result of hundreds of thousands of years of nature selecting for the people who are most cunning in relation to others. Some people theorize that's why our brains are so big, and that's what enabled so much of our development into kind of seemingly above animals. So we're all very socially cunning. And I've heard it said that actually this is in some ways where evil comes from. I've heard that mentioned in connection with the eating the forbidden fruit. That's the thing that makes man, the knowledge of their own vulnerability, because the knowledge of your vulnerability is the knowledge of the vulnerability of others, and that's when evil is born. It does seem in some ways like a fair critique from the owl. The other side to that is that an awareness of someone else's weakness gives us the potential to actually be virtuous and be kind, because we know that. And so people who have the strength to have influence on others but use it properly are the people we admire. And returning to the idea of survival, that may be exactly what virtue means in this case, because people who stay together and who are tightly bonded and who trust each other and who have a common goal are the ones that are going to survive. So in that sense, this knowledge of one another has its ultimate form in cooperation and in being honorable towards your group. And I think that's why it emerges time and time again that harmony, social harmony, trust in others, and having a solid group and knowing your place in society and all those things end up being repeated as virtues and feel right to us, because that's where we're going to have strength. We're going to have strength in cohesion and in groups. The knowledge of each other makes relationships somehow more important. Does that make sense? For example, it will take this group teaming up to beat someone like Zhao.
We will not abuse the knowledge in your library.
You have to contribute some worthwhile knowledge.
That's cool. That's a good condition.
Please accept this tome.
I have an authentic waterbending scroll.
Is that his wanted poster? Nice. That's a cool touch.
It's a special knot.
You're not very bright, are you?
Aw.
So, you like flying?
That was a line. That's from The Simpsons. So, you like stuff?
Did you know in a past life you were left-handed? I always knew I was special.
Are lefties special? I'm left-handed.
The darkest day in Fire Nation history.
Uh-oh. Shouldn't touch it. Is he stealing from the library?
Firebenders. They destroyed everything having to do with the Fire Nation.
What are they hiding?
It's a planetarium that shows the heavens moving.
Sokka, try entering that date from that parchment you took.
That is a crazy, useful contraption.
You picked the best mini vacation.
Who would have thought the library?
What happened to the sun?
Get it? Firebenders lose
They're
their bending
weak,
during
yeah.
a solar eclipse.
Right. The season 1 finale showed us that pretty clearly.
Mortals are so predictable and such terrible liars.
They did kind of stab him in the back.
If anyone's evil, it's the Fire Nation. They're destructive and dangerous.
I'm very interested to see where this goes. The owl's from the spirit world, so the actions of humans are neither here nor there. And also, I think it's been pretty well established in the show that the Fire Nation is not intrinsically evil. It's really just their leadership that's leading them on this course.
You think you're the first person to believe their war was justified?
Right. You can't use your opinion as your guiding star for whether or not to do damage to others, because everybody thinks they're right all the time. The Fire Nation probably feel they're justified.
Please, we're just desperate to protect the people we love.
And now, I'm going to protect what I love.
I love this owl dude. He's like bigger than life.
He's sinking the building. We've got to get out of here.
That's a waste.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. You already know too much.
Whoa. That got dark.
Library's sinking!
Wow, that's some pretty powerful stuff. If she can do this. But I guess you can hit him with air. I want that owl in my life. That made no sense what I just said. I can't explain it, but that's how I feel.
What is it now?
Oh no, the Tusken Raiders, that's what they're called.
Maybe I can project when the next one will be. We just need to check every day before Sozan's comet arrives.
Smart. He's pretty smart. Come on, give him credit. Sokka's a smart guy.
That's it! The solar eclipse!
Nice. Oh, they want Appa.
Don't make me put this down.
Yeah, she's so crazy powerful. I love it. Uh-oh.
Stop sinking. I'm sorry, Appa.
I feel like Appa can take care of himself. Badass. I love the idea of these spirits in these shows. It's so cool because it's something real. We don't meet owl bird things like this, but it's just a way of personifying forces that are outside of our control that have no regard for human life. I think there's some personal benefit to acknowledging them and respecting them and having humility in the face of them.
I'm not leaving.
Oh no.
There's not another collection of knowledge like this on Earth.
He really does want knowledge for knowledge's sake.
Just go.
Katara wasted no time. Bye. Toph really is the MVP in this one. Wow. That's power.
Where's Appa?
That was a very small but important moment, I think, for Toph. That's the first time we've seen her really care about something. It gives us something we want, which is to believe that she actually is a good person just with a really cool exterior. So she does care about Appa.
How could you let them take Appa?
No, stop it.
Stop them.
Stop. You're way out of line. I don't like your tone. She just saved everyone. People are so quick to have it out with Toph. What's the deal? Is it just me? Am I just like a Toph fanboy? I feel like she could do no wrong. I don't know.
You never liked Appa. You wanted him gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's just upset. That's a natural first reaction when you are very upset, is to look for blame. Especially if you feel guilty. So Aang obviously feels like it's his fault something bad happened, which it's not, clearly. But, you know.
We're all concerned, but we can't afford to be fighting now. I'm going after Appa. We better start walking.
Maybe we should make camp.
Are these the same people we saw in Avatar Day, I think, right?
Colonel Monkey and the Rough Rhinos are legendary.
Right, the Rough Rhinos. Can't forget a name like that. Yes. And he's injured too, it's crazy. I like the little wave. This is coming right after they spent a bunch of time training.
It's nice to see old friends.
Can't you watch where you're...
No.
Right. Sorry.
I like how they keep using this joke, but it's still good. It keeps being good.
Look!
Sokka just has no regard for nature.
There's water trapped inside these. It's very thirst quenching though.
Is this gonna be what I think it is? It is! Wow! I did not expect them to go there, but okay.
Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
Okay, I think you've had enough. Can I get some of that cactus? I don't think that's a good idea. Come on.
It's a great idea. I mean, does it quench your thirst though? I feel like that's really the important thing right now.
Appa! No!
Oh.
Friendly mushroom.
Mushy giant friend. Did I give you any indication where they were headed?
Oh, it's these guys.
I know it's hard for you right now, but we need to focus on getting out of here.
Appa is more than just a pet. Appa is the only connection he has to his past life. It's a symbol of his tribe, his civilization that's been lost. So there are a lot of layers to it at the same time.
We can do this if we work together, right, Toph? We're trapped in a giant bowl of sand pudding. Any ideas how to find Ba Sing Se?
Why don't we ask the circle birds?
Oops.
We're getting out of this desert and we're gonna do it together.
This is where Katara's instincts are useful. In the last episode, we saw her use this same thing in a negative way. She was being a little bit too assertive, but this is where her instincts become useful to the group. She's the caretaker. She's kind of the backbone. She's the mother. She's the adult. She cares the most about everyone's well-being. Here you see the positive element of that, which is that she's rallying them to get out, which is cool.
Get up. We need to go. I'm awake. I couldn't sleep. Appa!
Appa?
No.
But why would Princess Yue need him? She's the moon. She flies by herself.
This thing is long-lasting.
Fly up and bend the water from that cloud into my pouch.
I think it's not dealing well with all this pressure.
Wow, there's hardly any in here.
I'm sorry, okay? It's a desert cloud. I did all I could. What are you doing?
Leading them out of the
Trying to keep
desert.
everyone together.
Yeah.
Ow! What idiot buried a boat in the middle of the desert?
You can bend a breeze so we can sail it.
It was lucky that Toph tripped on that boat.
That's what the compass is pointing to. That giant rock.
Maybe we can find some sandbenders.
He's out for blood. Look at him.
I'm completely out of water to bend.
I'm not losing anyone else out here.
Fire!
Yeah, you got it.
It's nice to see them getting along. The dark side of Aang comes out.
We're heading to Ba Sing Se. We can hide in plain sight there.
That has so much meaning for Uncle Iroh, right? Because that's where his son died and where he failed as the leader, right?
Our bison was stolen and we have to get to Ba Sing Se.
You dare accuse our people of theft while you ride in on a stolen sand sailor?
He's the one that stole Appa. I never forget a voice.
Wow, another useful skill.
What did you do to him?
I was wondering if this was going to come up for Aang. There have been a couple missteps he made, like hiding the whereabouts of Sokka and Katara's father from them. But overall, he's been pretty good. But he has a tremendous amount of power. And a lot of times, one of the difficulties of being a hero in these stories is knowing how to properly use it and stay in balance. A famous example is Lord of the Rings. The ring has tremendous power, but also corrupts. Power corrupting is a big thing for heroes. So I was wondering if that was going to come up. I think in this episode, he's being challenged. How will he act even when he's really distressed or when he's grieving? It's not too hard to imagine Aang going nuts and destroying the very things he cares about.
You tell me where he is now. You muzzled Appa?
Oh, here it is.
He's probably in Ba Sing Se by now.
Uh-oh.
Just get out of here. Run.
How come Sokka left Katara behind? That seems like a big oversight. That was brave. Nice. So it's really nice that these 4 episodes are connected. I feel like we've seen the full range of Katara's maternal tendency. She was a little bit overbearing in the episode where Toph was training Aang, but in this episode, she really became the head of the group and also was the only one who stuck behind to nurture Aang. You guys were right. Season 2, I think just the overall quality so far has been incredible. But yeah, so that's episodes 10 and 11. We are over halfway through season 2. I'll see you guys next time.